Sterling Holmes of Fansided, joined now by Minnesota quarterback who is now entering the NFL draft, Max Brosmer. Max, how are you?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Do you like Minnesota quarterback? Do you like New Hampshire quarterback? Do you like just quarterback? What do you prefer here?
How about both? I feel like both have provided me really valuable tools and resources in my career, and I can only give them both credit where it's due.
Yeah. I do want to talk to you about the combine process here because I've always wondered what this is like for obviously players heading into the NFL draft. It just seems like an absolutely wild process. What has it been like for you so far?
It's definitely been pretty wild. It's very busy, but busy in a weird way. Number one, it's a good busy for sure. You definitely get to the spot looking forward to talking to teams and visiting teams, and you get to do that and meet new people, which is really cool. But it's like the first time I've talked about it before. It's the first time that you're working for yourself, like, and for your entire life. You don't have a team you're going back to, and it's a weird feeling. And I love being a part of a team, and there's no team to go back to. So getting adjusted to that is pretty unique. But it's what the NFL is about. Everyone's their own LLC until you get to your team and you figure it out. So that's been pretty interesting. But adjusting to change is really important too. NFL, one of the consistent things in the NFL is everything changes all the time. You have no control over it, which is like your schedule during draft prep too. Sometimes you get a call from a team and you have a meeting in 20 minutes that you have to go to. So it's been a lot of fun.
When it comes to actually meeting with these teams, a lot of times folks have talked about they get asked weird questions. Have you been asked any of those weird questions yet?
Weird, maybe not weird, maybe just different. I thought I had a question yesterday that, I was asked if I could play, one song that defined, who I was regarding football. What would you play? And you had to play the song for them, which I found really interesting. It was good. It kind of brought a different side out of you, maybe that you probably didn't think you were going to talk about.
What song?
So I listened to a band called OAR.
Pregame
is that's my pregame band, and that's also like my family band too. Like that's our favorite band that we listen to, and then also whenever they come to Atlanta, we're always going to watch them. And so I played him the song "I Feel Home," and it's because I feel like football is synonymous with family for me, and feeling like you're home and you're with your family, having that settling kind of feeling is when I play my best ball.
Probably better than playing Shattered or Crazy Game of Poker. That might be a little tough. You're gambling.
Yeah. I do like Crazy Game of Poker. That's a good one, just because I feel like it's like their anthem song. So it's a good one to go into.
Well, and when you see them live, they're throwing all the cards.
The live version of Madison Square Garden is the best one.
I love that. See, look at this, Max. I would draft you. If you're listening to OAR, I'd draft you right here.
Thank you.
Weird question, because I just want to know this. How do they measure your hands and arm length? I just feel like that's such a weird process. It gets, at least in the media, it feels very overblown, but yet it's obviously something that you have to do. What's that process look like? How awkward is it? How do you prepare for that?
There's not much, preparation you can do for measurements, really. For your hand, they measure from your pinky to your thumb. And so it's like, it's not, you can do your best to, stretch your hands and really work on the flexibility between your pinky and your thumb. A lot of people hold tension in their thumb. And so if you continue to work that out, sometimes you can get an extra little quarter of an inch from your hand. And then for my position specifically, arm size or, wing and your arm length don't have a much of an impact on whether they like you or not. But I think they measure probably from your scap out to your longest finger, which is your middle finger usually. And then wing obviously is the whole entire thing. No, I think it's the middle of your back. Middle of your back, maybe to your arm. I don't know. I didn't really focus much on it, to be honest.
I just laugh because, at least in the media side of things, we're so enamored by arm length for offensive linemen. And like Josh Simmons, for example, from Ohio State, it was a question of, well, if it's 33, I don't know if you can draft him at tackle. 34, all of a sudden.
34. Oh, yeah, right. It's like he's got 9 3/4 hands, but this guy has 9.5 hands, and I'm not sure he can hold the football. Dude, Come on. He's been holding the football his entire life, throwing dimes.
It's like, check tape. Check the 6 years, Max, have you. So the hand size shouldn't matter.
It's like you get one video, you throw him like a wobbly ball, and they're like, yeah, his hands aren't big enough to throw a ball, like an NFL ball. Like, dude, are you serious? You go throw one. Let me see you go throw it.
I do want to talk about, because you had an interesting story here, obviously starting off at New Hampshire and then COVID, and then you tore your ACL. So you basically missed 2 straight seasons. Yeah. How difficult of a process was that, the grind, the adversity? I mean, 2 years without playing.
Yeah, it's crazy. I haven't thought about, I don't think about it a lot like that, but it's the reality, dude. I didn't play football for a long time, it feels like. And it was a long time. 2 years is a long time not to get in the field. It was all about, doing my best to find different aspects of the game that I wasn't, good at yet. And so COVID was one. We played that spring season. We only got 1 game in, and every other week we were getting everyone was getting COVID. So we got pushed back. And so we never got to play any more games. In 21, I tore my ACL in fall camp. And then I became like the offensive line GA for the year. And so I didn't go to quarterback meetings. I was in there learning about offensive line because I felt like I watched, quarterbacks on Sundays, and they're like directing the entire offensive line. Like, you watch Peyton Manning and Tom Brady play quarterback, and they're like, you guys are going here and you guys are going here. And I'm like, dude, I have no idea how he's doing this. So I'm going to go learn it. And because of that, I can speak offensive line now. I can go in there and talk ball with them for an hour about the combinations, the single, double, triple, and ABC, on the backside or front side of gap scheme or whatever, and be really fluent in that language. And that helps me on the field too, where I can, ID combinations and change the ID and understand why runs work versus this coverage and this pressure, but why they don't versus this front, whatever. So I really think that taking something at your low point, but using it as a way to grow and find something different that you're not good at, is really important. And then you get on the field the junior year, and then the team is just ready to go. And we had a great year that year.
Yeah, you had a phenomenal year. Finalist for the Walter Payton Award for the top FCS player, which was badass. And then you ended up going to Minnesota. I would love to know, what's the transfer portal and what's that process look like?
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. I wasn't highly recruited out of high school, and then getting into the portal it's a whole new animal. I would say, to start off with, I kind of wanted to go in quietly. I didn't want to go like, hey guys, come get me, I'm in the portal. I entered my name in without tweeting it, without telling anybody really, except my staff and my team. And someone found out I was in the portal within 45 seconds. And I'm like, dude, I have no idea how you found out. And they tweeted it. And then within a few hours, I had 100 calls and 100 text messages from random numbers I had no idea, including Twitter. And that was a lot because I've never been recruited before. And I'm like, Dad, I have no idea how to sort through this. We need to make a spreadsheet. So we just made a spreadsheet with all the teams on there, calls and calls back and scheduling visits. And it's a whole new animal, in the portal compared to high school recruiting. In high school, you get an offer and they're like, all right, we want you to come to our school. In the portal, they're like, hey, do you want to come play at our school? And you're like, all right, is that an offer? Would I be is that a committable offer? That's the only language I know how to speak because I've only been recruited once before that. And so, Minnesota came in pretty quickly, and their offer was committable. And I got here within a couple of weeks, and I fell in love with the place.
Well, it's awesome too, because you're 1 year in Minnesota, obviously a pretty solid season in the Big Ten, huge change from FCS to all of a sudden now it's the Big Ten here. Yeah. And you set a school record, 268 completions. Do you feel vindicated at all, being like, yeah, I can do this on the biggest stage, highest level? Again, not a knock on FCS or New Hampshire, but right. Obviously Big Ten is one of the premier conferences. Did you feel almost vindicated?
I think you look at the career, and for me, it was always kind of attacking what was at hand. And so at New Hampshire, growing and then attacking what was at hand, we had some really cool years and really successful years in New Hampshire because we just focused on getting better at the day we were attacking. And then you get to Minnesota and you fail, you grow a little bit, then you continue to fail, and then you grow a little bit. And, we just kind of grew into the team that became successful this year. We had some really cool games, really cool moments this year. I don't think that I'm like, oh yeah, highest completions in Minnesota history. I'm like, hell yeah. It's not like I'm like, I feel like I did something. It was kind of just what was at hand. My goal was to become the best quarterback and best leader and person I could be for my team, and win as many football games as possible. And, I felt like we did a really good job this year as an offense, but also as a team, just focusing on attacking the day. And whatever was the result was the result. We can control what we're doing today, and what happens tomorrow is not what's in our control. So I would say I feel like this place does a really good job of coaching that and teaching that, and we live by that. So I would say I'm vindicated by having the most completions.
Before I let you go here, any stadium or field you're most looking forward to playing in the NFL? Certain ones stand out to you?
A couple. I would say, there's so many stadiums, dude. Lambeau Field for sure. The Minnesota-Wisconsin rivalry is like, I didn't understand how big it was. I knew a little bit about the Gophers and the Badgers, how big that was. But then you look at the two states colliding with the Vikings and the Packers, and I'm like, dude. And then you see the crazy fans in Lambeau, dude. Like, they're awesome. It's like another college environment, dude. And then you look at like the Bills, for example. Like, I would love to play a snow game in Buffalo, and watching the fans shovel the snow out before the game. That's so cool. And then I would say the last one probably be Cincinnati, just because I grew up in Ohio, and my whole family my entire family are Bengals fans, and so being able to play in kind of my home state, where my family's from, where we're rooted, will be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm a Kansas City guy. I live in Kansas City, so
that would have been a good answer.
Yeah, well, you going Bills and Bengals over here, making it difficult for me.
Yeah, it's got meaning for me. I would feel the Bills maybe not so much. I just feel like Bills Mafia. Like, I got to visit Buffalo with my girlfriend's brother over there, and we went to like a Sabres game, and then I got to see the stadium, and people in Buffalo, dude, they love Buffalo. There's no division at all. It's Buffalo sports. And
they're built different.
Dude, they're built. I mean, just like Chiefs fans too. You guys are crazy over there too. Like, everyone's got their little pot, and there's a few fan bases that are just like all in all the time. And, Kansas City is one of them. Packers and the Bills are them. So it's playing in those stadiums where people just love the team they're rooting for. I feel like any of those stadiums work for me.
And also, by the way, big time, you can play in the snow, Minnesota and New Hampshire. I think you're okay for cold weather.
Max, I didn't think I was either. Oh my Lord.
Well, you're from Georgia, right?
I go to New Hampshire, and the first week I'm there is like -15, and then I go to Minnesota, and I couldn't think it would get any colder, and it was like -25 for an entire week. Like, dude, why do I keep choosing cold places to play football at? It sucks.
Hey, well, at least the NFL knows you can do it. Max Brosmer, again, man, good luck in the draft, and excited to see where you land. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thanks, man. Had a blast.